So this was wild. Bills headed to the AFC Championship game next Sunday. They'll take on the Kansas City Chiefs, who are there for the 7th straight season, which is incredible. Statistically, not Josh Allen's best game. But I love what you said yesterday. It's not all about numbers all the time.
Yes, and I think if you're a Bills fan, you got to be excited that he didn't have to be Superman.
Right.
And to me, this guy came out here and he's understanding how to win games at a more efficient level. You look at what happened today. There were some turnovers. They were giving him chances, and he sat here and said, okay, we're going to utilize the run game. We made a big throw earlier to Khalil Shakir, and then I'm going to control the tempo of this game. And you could just feel the clock bleeding down and bleeding down. And why I say that I felt like he was in control is because the longer Josh is on the field, that means the less Lamar Jackson is. And Lamar didn't have his best day, but it's only a matter of time till he settles in. And because Buffalo was able to run the ball and they were able to basically control the game the entire time, you just felt like every time Lamar stepped on the field, there was a ton of pressure, especially in that second half, and you simply ran out of time. I think they started to get King Henry going, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, we're down too much. We got to throw. And you got to tip your cap. I thought Josh played very, very efficiently, and that's all he needed to do.
I want to ask you about Lamar Jackson in a second, but first, we noticed that Tracy Wolfson got a big hug from Josh Allen.
Tracy.
Josh, we know how bad you wanted it. I can tell by the reaction that when you just came over. When you were standing on that sideline, though, and you saw that touchdown go in, and then the two-point conversion try, what was going through your head?
How about that Buffalo Bills defense? All year, this team has heard we got no talent. We're too small. We can't stop the run. We're not good enough to compete. We've just put our head down and worked hard. I'm so proud of our defense. I'm so proud of our offense and special teams. What a complete win. Obviously, on the offensive side of the ball, we wish we scored a little more, so we didn't have to take it down to the fourth quarter like that. But that's a really good team. Credit to them as well.
Well, now you're headed to Kansas City, another rematch with the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. Why will it be different this time around for the Buffalo Bills?
I can't tell you that. I just know we're going to work hard. We're going to have a heck of a week. We're going to enjoy this one tonight. Turn our attention to the Chiefs tomorrow. We know what they are. You know, they're the perennial of what you want to be in the NFL, and you got to beat them to get past them. So you know, we're going to enjoy this one tonight.
You should enjoy it, and I know you had a moment with Lamar there. Both of you wanted this so bad. What did you say to him?
I just got so much respect and love for him. The way he plays the game. He's a true competitor. He's a true football player. One of the greatest to ever step on the football field. So nothing but love.
Appreciate it. Enjoy it.
Go Bills.
See you next.
They close out.
Oh, this took off.
Yeah, clean interview, though.
Yeah, very clean.
I loved his answer on the Chiefs.
I was just going to say, I love that he refused to allow any bulletin board material seep out of that question.
I think we've seen Josh Allen grow into a very savvy veteran over the last few years. Again, even the way he takes care of the football now.
Yeah.
He's obviously playing at an MVP level. He didn't have to today, but even his answers are very polished, and he knows what's going on.
So, first let's get to Lamar and the game he had on Sunday. It's another shaky postseason performance, and yet, you know, at the end of the game when they need that drive to get down and potentially tie the game, he looks like an MVP all over again. Why is it like this with Lamar in the playoffs?
It's a great question, Jay, and it is devastating because that first drive, and even heading into this game, I thought, hey, this is the time Lamar takes over. He's going to go in. They're going to knock off the Bills. They're going to knock off the Chiefs next week, go into the Super Bowl. And just the mistakes are unbelievable. And it started also with throws. And yes, it should have been caught. But if he leads Derrick Henry there, that's a big play. This interception, I mean, you missed this throw by 20 yards. It's not even close. And then the circus here. It's a bad snap. We're trying to do something. We got to have ball security. You cannot give the Buffalo Bills a free interception and a scoop and almost score and expect to win. Josh Allen is on the other team. And here's another one, and they end up scoring on this drive, but he just missed this throw here late in the game. It's very, very strange to me because he is such a talent. And the numbers and the stats, and he deserves it, and the MVPs, and he might win MVP, sir, I don't know. But you look, and there's one glaring thing missing, and it's a playoff run. And there's no rhyme or reason for me on why he's not getting it done. And you give him King Henry, and you give him a very, very good defense, #1 run defense in the NFL. Now, they got pushed around a bit today. The last 11 weeks of the season, they were very good, even in the pass defense. You're -3 in the turnover ratio, and you miss two two-point conversions. One's a drop to tie the game. Like, this team has no business not beating Buffalo, and they have no business probably walking into Arrowhead and not winning that game, but they shoot themselves in the foot.
So we know the voting's already, if people are like, oh, well, I guess Josh Allen beat out Lamar for MVP. Well, the voting was done.
Yes.
Like, this game had nothing to do with the vote, but in your mind, Josh Allen solidified himself as the best player in the league.
And it is annoying to me that the playoffs don't count. I get that there'll be some writers and people who are like, oh, what do you mean not everyone gets to the playoffs? But in this situation, I would have loved to taken this game into effect because there's arguments for both sides.
Yep.
And what better way to solve this debate than playing head-to-head?
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'll say this, and I hope Bills fans can find some solace in this, is at this point, who cares? If they give it to Lamar, who cares?
Yeah.
You look at today, outside of the turnovers, which were bad, Lamar probably had better numbers statistically. Josh didn't have to do it. He didn't have to throw for a bunch of yards. He ran for some. He ran a couple touchdowns in. Who cares? This guy is beating the Chiefs away from going to the Super Bowl. So as much as, Bills fans might be upset if they don't give it to Josh, and I do think Josh probably deserves it. I go back and forth, but I lean Josh. I think if you're a Bills fan, you're not even thinking about this. You got a chance to do something right now. You got to beat the big bad wolf in Kansas City.
Yeah.
And then you got a chance to do something that a lot of Bills fans have been waiting for a very, very long time.
Talk about cementing your legend in Western New York if you lead that team to the Super Bowl. Now, Baltimore, let's look at the other side of the coin, because say Lamar does win MVP, but this is the way the season ended. It's just like devastating for this fan base because you added, as you said, you added Derrick Henry. Everything was coming together for you this year. This feels like a missed opportunity in a way.
Yeah, I feel sick for him. And to be honest, missed opportunity, to me, is almost an understatement, Jay. Like, this team choked.
Yeah.
And you've heard me say on here, I expected a generational game. And we started this game out, touchdown by the Ravens. What Josh Allen says, I'm ready to ball, boys. Boom, touchdown by the Bills. And I'm like, and here we go, we're off. And just the lack of awareness. You see the fumble there. It was very, very tough. We saw this earlier. Again, this is hopes and dreams, potential Super Bowl on the line. We have a bad drop here, and it's very uncharacteristic of Mark Andrews. But I guess where I was confused at is they look flat at times, and with the fumbles and the ball security issues, I can vividly remember when we were going into rain games in Seattle, and we would be dunking footballs in buckets of water to make them so slippery you could barely do anything with them. And the point of that is to emphasize what could potentially be coming. And there's a certain level of, hey, we're playing kind of backyard recess football, trying to get yak. And there's another level of let's understand the concept of the game, the situation of the game. King Henry has awakened in the second half. We've got to protect the football. And if we need to throw, we can. But we're going to win this game by giving it to Derrick Henry. And it certainly seemed that way when Mark Andrews caught that ball. We're trying to do a little extra. Again, I mentioned ball security. It's not there. And next thing you know, you give Josh Allen another chance, and they take advantage of it. Josh is going to do that. He's arguably the best player in the entire world right now. So I look at Baltimore right now, and I think there's going to be an empty pit in a lot of those guys' stomachs because, similar to Detroit yesterday, this was a team that is designed to win in the playoffs, a team that has all the ability and the coaches and the personnel in the world to win a Super Bowl, and they don't even get to the AFC Championship.
The Bills do that. And now the Bills have to face a team that's knocked them out 3 times. Everybody knows this is the gauntlet. This is the one they have to get past. How do they get past them?
It's going to come down to one thing that they're great at. I think it's going to be a very, very tight game. It's going to come down to turnover margin. And what I'll say is that Buffalo has led pretty much wire to wire this season when it comes to turnover margin. They barely turn the ball over, and they get a ton of takeaways. Kansas City has kind of been a tale of two halves, but I think they have an NFL record going on right now for not giving the ball up. They have not gotten a ton of takeaways, so I'll say that's kind of been a flaw in their defense. But right now, they've been protecting the ball at an elite level. So I honestly believe that when you turn on this game and you look at the highlight film next week, the winner is going to come down to one stat, and that is the plus-minus, and it's going to take one, in the turnover margin, and that is going to be the difference. You have 2 phenomenal teams that don't turn the ball over. You have 2 phenomenal quarterbacks, the best there is right now. You have a very, very similar skill set at the positions. I think you give the edge to the Chiefs defensively because of Steve Spagnuolo. But even today, you got to tip your cap. Bills have made plays and they've taken the ball away. So I think across the board on defense, the Chiefs are better, but the Bills' defense is better at taking the ball away. Should be an epic matchup. It's going to come down to a turnover. And I'll be honest, as many Bills fans know, I did not have this on my bingo card today.
Right.
And I do not have the Bills winning next week on my bingo card either, but I'm being shut up pretty quickly here on the desk. I am.
You know what? The Mafia will take it. The Mafia is happy about it.
I don't. They're definitely happy about it. I'm sure that
you're going to be hearing about it.
I'll be hearing, and I deserve to. And I deserve to.
Well, you know what? That's okay. Listen, let the Bills Mafia enjoy their moment.